To grow as a writer is, I think, that's the most important thing about poetry. Because when you start writing poetry, you're kind of like a novice. You're not knowing, you don't know what you're really doing, or you have an idea, but you're not really sure, you're not really confident. So I think poetry, for me, is all about growing as a writer, as a person, writing about things that I may not necessarily experience, but being confident enough to write about something that people can relate to. Um, and also, it's about dealing with your your inner your inner demon, so to speak, and kind of like capturing that on a page, and like getting yourself relieved from anger or sadness or pain or whatever emotion that you're feeling, and kind of leaving it all on the page, and kind of being like a therapy, really, like quite therapeutic. I find my poetry, and it's basically kind of reaching a new audience, really, because no point writing poetry and kind of leaving it just on your phone or on your bedside table, whatever. Because for me, it's all about writing poetry and kind of sharing it with the world, and hopefully people being able to relate to it, and kind of growing as a person through that, and reaching more people, and hopefully one day making a career out of it. That's kind of my aim, really, with my poetry. I think, to be honest with you, it depends on the topic that I'm trying to write about. Sometimes I can write it within 5 minutes, sometimes it takes me a week, sometimes it's taking me months. So I think it depends on how um, the topic I'm writing about, and also how much free time I'm able to write. Because sometimes, obviously, you're on a train, or it's like an hour train where you've got a lot of time, or sometimes where basically you've got like 5 minutes before, like, you need to go somewhere. So I'd probably say those are two things. But usually, generally, it takes me about half an hour to write the poem, and maybe another solid few hours to really edit it to the point where I'm happy with what I've written. Creative freedom expression, basically expressing my thoughts and my feelings in a way that no other art form can allow me to. It's basically using language in a way where I can express myself um, easier than I would just talking to someone. Like, sometimes I feel that it's easier to write things down than to say to a person, like, oh, I feel this, I feel that. I think with a pen and a paper, it's more intimate in terms of what I want to say, what I want to feel, what I'm thinking. So I think for me, poetry, or being a poet, is basically conversating with your mind